We've got the preseason AP poll to talk about. We got some fall camp updates you're going to want to hear about, and some sneaky good games you want to think about for the rest of the year. Let's get into it. It's That College Football Show. Lock in and let's go. Welcome in, everybody, to That College Football Show. I am Jeremy JJ Jeffcoat, a longtime broadcaster, Southern Sports Tonight, Sports Blitz Live, AHSAA Radio Network. He is former Auburn national champion linebacker, the one and only Eltoro Freeman. How you doing, bud?
Doing good, Jay. How about you, bro?
I'm great. It's like we're in this long drag now. Like the season feels close, and then now we're just dragging. It's like,
you're right.
Let's go. Let's get this thing rolling. It's time to go. All right. We got a lot of stuff we're going to get into tonight, and we're going to have a lot of fun doing it. Before we do, look down there. If you see that subscribe button, click it, and click the like button, leave a comment. None of this costs you anything. It takes just a few seconds. You're not going to start getting spam emails or anything. Nothing to worry about there, but it helps us out a lot, and helps keep you up to date with the content that we're pushing out there every day. All right, Eltoro, let's get into this first topic that I want to talk about today. We had some fun the other day. I had put together a list of what I think are the top 5 defensive players in the Southeastern Conference. Tonight, I thought it'd be fun to talk about the top 5 offensive players in the Southeastern Conference. See if you think my list is good, or who am I leaving out? Right?
Who you got, Jay?
All right, let's go ahead and let's start with number 5. And I will go ahead and tell you I'm a little bit partial to offensive linemen. I'm a fan of offensive linemen.
Hey, that's where it starts at.
I say that as a warning, because when you've got one or two really, really good ones, drives the whole team. So let's get into it with number 5. I said that as a tease, what we call it in radio. So let's get into number 5. To me, Georgia center Drew Bobo. This is a multi-year starter. I think he's been starting since he was a true freshman. At least it feels like. It feels like he's been playing for 10 years. Over 700 snaps last year, rushing and passing. He allowed only 6 pressures and had 1 penalty from the center position.
Wow.
With over 700 snaps. He's experienced. He's smart. He's the son of a coach, obviously, Mike Bobo. So, this is a guy that's like, if you're designing a center, right? Give me a coach's son who's really smart and really technical, and also just happens to be 300 plus and can move.
Oh yeah.
All of those things there. Now, I know there's people going, boy, that's boring, offensive lineman. So we'll move on to number 4. But believe me, I think at the end of the year, Drew Bobo is going to be a hot topic if Georgia does what I think they can do. Number 4 for you, Eltoro. This is a guy that you brought up when we previewed LSU. And I'm going to put him here. I like production more than I like potential. But I think this guy's got enough production that we can count it, and that's LSU tight end Tre'Davious Green.
Yes.
This is a monster. You're talking 6'7", 250 pounds, can run, can catch. Statistically, like I said, not a huge year last year. 33 catches, 433 yards, 7 touchdowns, but was good enough for second team All SEC last year on a team that wasn't that great. So Tre'Davious Green, I mean, your thoughts on him? And you were a linebacker. You had to deal with these tight ends.
Oh yeah, man. You get a guy like that, man, as skillful as he is and as big as he is. Oh man, it just causes so many mismatches today, and it's a difficult task to handle, man. You know what I mean? So I expect for this guy here, man, to have a huge year and be a big piece of LSU success.
Well, and Lane Kiffin loves big receivers, man. I mean, he loves big targets. I think Lane Kiffin's probably gonna plan to get this guy to about double the number of catches this year if he can.
Without question.
I mean, Tre'Davious Green's a weapon. There's no question about that. All right, let's get into my number 3 SEC offensive player. I'm as high on this guy as I am just about anybody in the league, and I can't put him number 1, and you'll see why in a second. Kejuan Lacey, running back at Ole Miss. Here's a dude, 1,567 yards last year and 24 touchdowns. All he does is run by you. You know what I
He's
mean?
he's a man,
Juan
Jay.
Lacey just, if you leave a hole, any kind of hole, Juan Lacey's going to find it.
Absolutely, man. And I'm telling you, man, he headed straight for the end zone.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, one of those guys has got that great comment. He's not the most powerful back in the world. He's probably not the fastest back in the world, but he's got enough of each one.
Mm-hmm.
And he can catch the ball too. I think Juan Lacey's going to play, and I think he can be a huge part of Ole Miss trying to get back in those playoffs this year. You know.
Oh, without a question, Jay. I think that he has to be a huge part. You know, he has to complement the quarterback, man, you know, to keep the offense honest, man. And so absolutely, man, he definitely will be a huge part. Jay, I actually think, Jay, he's going to be a Heisman candidate without question, man.
I don't disagree with you at all there. Wouldn't surprise me a bit to see him in New York in December.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get to my top two, I want to go ahead and thank our anchor sponsor, Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC. I was just down there last Saturday, and the lines of trucks are just massive. They're located in East Central Alabama, Opelika, Alabama to be exact. And people from all over Georgia and North Florida and Alabama drive there, even from other states, to come see the truck selection. So if you like a GMC Sierra, if you like a Chevy Silverado, if you want to line them up and compare and contrast, they're both great trucks, but they ride a little different. They sit a little different, different packages, different options. You can do all of that with hundreds of them at Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC. And of course, they're also loaded up with the 2500s, 3500s if you need something bigger and more powerful. Check them out online at glennsmith.com, GLYNN-Smith.com. Stand by. Oh, I got it. Okay, Eltoro, here we go with my personal choices for the top two offensive players in the league. Number two, I told you I like the lineman, man. Left tackle Trevor Gooseby at Texas.
Oh.
This guy's 6'7", 325. He's pretty much, if you went into a lab to create an NFL offensive tackle, this is the guy you can create. 6'7", 325, long arms, man. Just huge long arms. He allowed one sack last year and had a 1.5% pressure rate. So they're not getting to Arch from him. You know what I mean? And Trevor Gooseby's the real deal. And he's going to be one of those guys, if he stays healthy, that could have, a 15-year career at the next level.
Is that Arch blindside?
It is.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. He's a good guy to have.
Definitely a great guy to have on the blind side, without question.
All right, let's get to my number one offensive player in the SEC. It's no surprise. You going to tell me who it is before I say it?
Not Jay. I'm kind of wondering who you got, Jay.
It's Trinidad Chambliss, man.
Well, okay.
I can't put anyone else there. And as much as, because again, I'm not trying to project the season they're gonna have. I'm more looking at what they've already shown me they can do. Right?
Well, Jay, I actually thought you was gonna stay in Texas.
You thought I was going Arch or Cam?
I thought you was going Arch, Jay.
Okay. No, I think it's possible that by the end of this season, Arch Manning is the best player in college football. And what we saw in the last 5 or 6 games last year from him was special and good, and it's stuff he can build on. But I watched Trinidad Chambliss in the playoffs just about carry Ole Miss to the semifinals. 66% completions last year, 3,937 yards, 22 touchdowns, just 3 interceptions last year. He also added 8 rushing touchdowns and over 500 yards rushing. So, I mean, he is the most dynamic player in college football coming into the year. And if Ole Miss is going to do something this year with Pete Golding, it's going to have to be Trinidad and Kejuan leading the way.
Mm-hmm. Jay, I promise you, man, I like the list, man. It's hard to argue about the list, and I like how you mixed it up, Jay. I like how you threw some big uglies in there, Jay. And
you gotta have them, man.
You gotta have it. It's vital. It's vital.
Let me say, like, I know everybody's kind of losing it over the highlight Twitter videos that we get, like Cam Coleman at Texas with the one-handed grabs and all that. But we knew Cam Coleman could do that. We knew that when he was at Central Phoenix City High School.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So I know he can do that. I'm waiting to see him put in position to use those skills in a big way. And I think Sarkisian, and Sarkisian can do it. We know he can do it. I mean, Sarkisian was the offensive coordinator when Devontae Smith won a Heisman at Alabama. So Sarkisian knows how to use a wide receiver. And I think Cam Coleman could have a big year, but I just haven't quite seen enough yet to be able to put him top 5. And he may be top 5 into the year anyway.
I agree with that, Jay. I agree with that.
All right, let's turn the page because it's fall camp time at Eltoro. Fall camp going on. There's quarterback battles. There's injury updates, which everybody worries about. You and I talked about this off the air the other day by text. I mean, people always get upset when their players are getting hurt. It's like, oh, what are our coaches doing out there? Well, they're playing football. Injuries are going to happen. It's just that football is a game that is very violent, and injuries are going to happen.
Full of contact.
So full contact, man. So with fall camp underway, I just want to go through a few things that we've learned in the last few days. Let's start with quarterback battles kind of taking shape. I'm going to start with the Tennessee Volunteers. You got 2 guys competing, Faison Brandon, 5-star true freshman. George McIntyre was 4-star redshirt freshman. McIntyre is very slim. I mean, he's thin. Faison Brandon, a little bigger, a little thicker, and he's got all of that 5-star ability. The word from people in Tennessee is that this thing is super, super close. That one practice it looks like Brandon, and the next practice looks like McIntyre. If it's that close with a true freshman, I gotta feel like the true freshman's probably got a little lead, right?
Absolutely, and that's the guy who I'll go with. Faison Brandon would be my guy, and I think he will be the guy, Jay.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning that way too. And all the reports out of Tennessee, from scrimmages, and they just talk about some of the throws he can make, right? I mean, he's got one of those 5-star arms. That's why he was rated a 5-star recruit, right? Because he's got that kind of ability. I think he's going to be tough to nudge out of there. Vandy looking more and more like they're going to go with the true freshman too. Jared Curtis flipped last minute from Georgia to Vandy. I don't know with a true freshman quarterback. I worry about Tennessee, but I know that Tennessee has a veteran offensive line, veteran backs, veteran receivers. At Vandy, I don't know if the talent profile is going to be there to support a true freshman quarterback in the growing pains he's going to have to go through. Does that make any sense to you?
Make complete sense, Jay, and I'm on the same page with you. I don't feel that the talent level is there to support him, and I think that Vanderbilt is a complete rebuilding year due to the departure of their quarterback.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be good. I think Curtis is going to be good. But it's, look, true freshman or true freshman, man, it's going to take a little time. But I do think he's going to be the starter. And you know what? If they come out and go 5-7, and by the end of the year, he's looking pretty good, I think the Vandy fans will go, okay, we're building this up for the next year and the year after, because they may have something special in the kid. You don't know. Florida is getting interesting because I think it's beginning to lean more and more to Philo. I think Tramel Jones has been a tough competitor in it. But the more things you read and the more things you hear, you're starting to feel like Aaron Philo is starting to come on, right? Aaron Philo is starting to show you why you spent the money to get him to transfer from Georgia Tech. Aaron Philo, I know you said the other day you think it's going to be Philo. I'm kind of leaning Philo too, and I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, heck, by the time this show airs, it could be Philo. But I think after last Saturday's scrimmage, I think they're going to go through one more scrimmage. But Philo right now looks like the leader.
I agree with you 100%. I think Philo will get the nod, Jay. Like I said, man, before, man, the guy, he has the experience within the offense. His biggest thing is, like, can he protect the football? And if he can't protect the football, I think that's when Jones will get his opportunity to lead the Gators.
it's really important to protect the football. But Summerall's been insisting since he got the job that it was non-negotiable that they're going to have an explosive offense. He's not interested in 10 play drives, right? He wants to see some 3 and 4 play drives where you just hit a big one and take it to the house. So it may be that Philo gives you a little better opportunity to do that. And of course, there's Tuscaloosa.
Go ahead, Jay.
You go.
Philo got that arm strength to push that ball downfield too now. So that's even favor him even more.
And he looks for the shot play, right? He looks for the shot play. And I mean, if you can with those receivers, man, with Vernell Brown and Dallas Wilson and Eric Singleton, you need to be looking. You need to be looking for shot
plays. Jay. Fireworks, man.
Yeah, I mean, by the end of the year, they might have the best receiving core in the SEC. I mean, we'll have to see how it plays out. But all right, and let's get to Tuscaloosa because something happened on Monday of this week I thought was interesting when offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb was asked, if they feel like they're getting any closer to making a decision on the quarterback. And he said, yeah, it's getting close. He said, we're getting close to game week. We've got the second scrimmage Thursday today. So, I mean, we may know by the time this show airs, but he said it's getting close. We're going to make that decision pretty soon after the second scrimmage. So it doesn't look like this is something they're going to carry into the season or carry into the first game. I think they want to get a guy getting first team reps about 2 weeks out of game time and get that first team offense really working together. And everything you keep hearing is Keelan Russell is a little different. That Austin Mack looks good, runs the offense extremely well, can make just about any throw. Keelan Russell's a little different. You keep hearing that word different, right? And it sounds to me like Keelan Russell's going to win this job.
Yeah, I feel he's going to win it too, Jay. I think the kid has won the locker room. You know what I mean? And I think when you can do that, man, that puts you in great position to get the nod, man. I think he get the nod. I think he's a starting quarterback without question.
I think he's going to be too. And, it's funny we talk about locker rooms because Austin Mack's been there. This is his third year at Alabama. So, and his fourth year in college football, but third year at Alabama. So the guys in the locker room know him a little better. I mean, he's been there, right? Keelan Russell's just going into his second year. But the thing I know about football players, Eltoro, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, the important thing is who's going to help me win football games.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Keelan gives them the best chance. Just what he can do, his style of play, Jay. I think he give him the best chance.
Yeah, I think Keelan Russell would be, if he wins the job, and I think he will. If he wins the job, it means that he's shown them some really special traits in this fall camp, and he's picked things up. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if we hear that sooner rather than.
And I'm gonna throw a little shot at you, Jay, because I know you're a fan of the Tide. Keelan Russell can definitely help that offensive line. With him being more mobile instead of staying stationary in that pocket.
That is true. Now, by the way, we're not
just a little bit, Jay.
All right. You probably don't know who this is because he's closer to my age, but I remember him well. There's a former player named Aaron Taylor. He was an offensive lineman at Nebraska, won the Outland Trophy. He was an All-American, College Football Hall of Famer, played 6 years in the leagues, great player. There's a Twitter account for the Joe Moore Award, which goes to the nation's best offensive line, right? And Aaron Taylor does work with them on Twitter, and he travels around to different campuses and views practice, right? Watches practices, scrimmages, drills. And he posted a video this week coming out of Alabama practice. I don't know if he was at the scrimmage or if he was just at a practice. I don't know. But he made it sound like what he saw was an offensive line that's going to be really good. He said from what he was seeing, he said from last year, what he saw last year to what he saw at practice was night and day. Not the same in terms of what you and I talked about, the physicality, right? Finishing the play, finishing the block, so if Aaron Taylor's saying, I mean, he's obviously a guy who knows what he's looking at.
Right.
But I'm like you, man. I'm gonna have to see it.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna
Don't
tell you,
tell
Jay,
me about it. Don't tell me about it. I gotta see it.
if that physicality is there, Jay, they can be a very, very dangerous team.
I agree. Because if they have any kind of physical run game to go with what DeBoer and Grubb can do with the pass game and a defense that's expected to be really good.
Right.
You get all that, then all of a sudden they do become dangerous. We got some more fall camp updates we want to get you, but before we do, let me tell you about Meacham Marketing Company. Now, this is an Alabama-based company, great folks to deal with. They're a lot of fun. They help businesses grow with strategic marketing and compelling visual storytelling, a full range of services. They do everything from graphic design, social media management, web design, videography, photography, drone services, print marketing, digital marketing, and they understand the goals that you have as a business and want to help you achieve those through creative strategies. So Meacham Marketing Company, they're at meachammarketingco.com. You'll see the address down there on the banner below, Meacham Marketing Company. Check those out. If you're a business owner in need of some social media help or some marketing help, they can get that done for you. All right, fall camp updates continue. Players generating buzz. I thought this was interesting because Cam Coleman's been all over the social media with the highlight catches. But then the other day, you start getting these practice reports, scrimmage reports at Texas that Ryan Wingo is burning it up on the deep ball. Ryan Wingo's making things happen on the other side. How does that affect? Does Cam Coleman then become your guy on the digs and the slants, and Wingo becomes your vertical? I mean, if Ryan Wingo's turning it up vertically, that really frees them up to do a lot of things with Cam Coleman.
Absolutely, Jay, and that was going to make their offense extremely scary, Jay. You know what I mean? And this Wingo and Cam Coleman, Cam Coleman, I believe he can do whatever, Jay. He's the type of player that can do whatever asked of him. You know what I mean? And so, man, and to have a guy like Wingo on the other side, oh my goodness, Jay.
Yeah, you got two
dynamic players right there, Jay.
I think I think it's going to come down to where is Arch in his development. Because if he's just good, they're going to be good. Boy, if he's great,
yes,
man,
great point, Jay.
Things get different. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Even with that schedule. All right, injuries. I want to talk a little bit about this. Alabama's had a couple of injuries here and there. You had A.K. Deer, kind of unfortunate. He's a redshirt freshman running back. He's second year back. Wasn't quite ready for the college game last year, really struggled in pass pro, struggled with some things. But by all accounts, in spring and then again in fall camp, was really elevating his game. And it worked his way up maybe to the number 2 back behind Daniel Hill. Unfortunately, he's got an ankle injury, it looks like, and is going to miss 6 weeks is the time frame they're giving, which will put him back maybe right before Georgia. But unfortunate for a young player who's showing some promise in a position that Alabama needs a hit on. So A.K. Deer now going to miss 6 weeks. Disappointing injury there for the Tide.
Yeah, that's tough, man. And I hope he get a full recovery, man. I hate to hear that.
This one was interesting to me. Josh Adkins, right tackle for Missouri, is lost for the year. And Austin Simmons is left-handed. So that means right tackle is your left tackle. You know what I mean? So you lose probably your best offensive lineman for the year at Mizzou on a team that's replacing 10 starters on defense.
Yeah, that's crucial.
We haven't made our picks yet, but the season's getting tougher at Missouri, man.
Yeah.
The season's getting tougher.
Especially when you lose those type of players.
Yeah. It's such an important position, too.
Yeah.
South Carolina loses 2 receivers for the year. One of them's Lenore Sellers' brother. But they both go down with injury this week. They're both lost for the year. Now they've got other receivers, but you don't have unlimited receivers, man. Most people like to work with 5 of them, maybe 6. Now you got 2 gone for the year. So if you're South Carolina, that's not good news when you're trying to get this offense going.
Not at all, Jay. Not at all. And they need all the offense they can get, Jay. because they need to win some ball games, Jay. You know what I mean?
And Lenore Sellers is going to have to win you ball games.
Oh, absolutely.
And when he loses weapons, that does not help.
That doesn't
That
help.
does not help. But the one to me, and Eltoro, we're going to talk about the AP poll later, and this team's going to come up. The Tennessee Volunteers. We know they've got most of their offensive line back. We know they've got their backs and receivers back. We already talked about, looks like they're going to be starting a true freshman quarterback. If not, it's a redshirt freshman. So either way, it's going to be a freshman. They have lost just in fall camp, okay? They've lost a linebacker, a corner. Yesterday, they lost their starting safety. Chaz Coleman, the edge rusher from Penn State, decided he's not going to play this year. It's getting scary in Knoxville, man.
That's tough, Jay. That's tough. They already got a freshman. Either way, whoever starts is already a freshman at the quarterback position. Now you're talking about defense. You're going to need defense in the SEC, man. So that doesn't sound good at all for the Vols.
Defense was bad last year. I know they hired Jim Knowles with the thought that he'll improve it. It's going to be hard for him to improve it if you keep losing defensive starters.
Absolutely.
And especially, corner, edge rusher. These are premium positions, man. You can't really afford to lose them.
You can't do that. You're right, Jay.
It's going to hurt. And we're going to talk about them when we go over this AP poll too, because we'll talk about where they're ranked and whether all these injuries and the prospect of a freshman quarterback might change all that. Hey, just a few camp updates from around the league as we move along. Welcome back to the Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC Studios, glennsmith.com, GLYNNsmith.com. Make sure you check them out. JJ and Eltoro with you. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button, a little thumbs up thingy. Hit that and leave us a comment too. We'd love to hear from you. The subscribing doesn't cost you anything, doesn't do anything other than helps us out a lot. And make sure that you find out about when we're putting out new content. So hit that subscribe button. It helps out a lot. All right, here we go with our next topic. Sneaky week 1 games. I skipped over week 0. I do think there's a couple of sneaky week 0 games, but not as interesting as week 1. Eltoro, we get into this first one, man. I think this is sneaky week 1 game. The Auburn Tigers, new head coach Alex Golich, had a home game scheduled with Baylor. It was the return game from last year. They got an NIL deal, decided to move it to Atlanta. So it's not on campus anymore. Auburn's gonna bring plenty of fans to Atlanta, but it's not Jordan Hare. 7.5. Auburn is favored over Baylor. I just think that it's a big early game. I think it's a big early game for both teams because Dave Aranda is going to get fired if he doesn't win some games this year at Baylor. And he went out and got DJ Lagway from Florida at quarterback. I do like Baylor's offensive coordinator, Jake Spavital. I think he's really smart, really good. We'll see if he can do anything, but what are you looking for in that game?
I'm looking for the Auburn Tigers to run the piss out of the football. You're looking at a Baylor team. You're looking at a Baylor team, Jay, that gave up almost 200 yards a game. I know they got a new defensive coordinator and all that good stuff, but Jay, I don't feel that they're able to fix the defense this fast, Jay. Especially going against the Auburn Tigers. With Coach Gullis. He put an emphasis on it. He is going to run the piss out of the football, and I think this is a great game to run the piss out of the football, Jay, without question.
It was funny last year. I'm watching that Baylor and Auburn game, and Jackson Arnold ran for over 100 yards, right? And he was running the ball all over Baylor, but they kept 2 safeties deep. I don't know. They never brought an extra man down in the box, and it never really. So if they're going to do that against this quarterback, against Byron Brown, if you're gonna play too high on Byron Brown, he might go for 150.
Strike the band up, Jay. War Eagle, fly down the field. I'm telling you, Jay, man, it's going to be a fun season, man. And I say against Baylor, Jay, I have to get Auburn the edge there. It just looking at the Baylor defense and what they gave up last year, you know what I mean, and having a new defensive coordinator, having to get some things, turned around there. I don't think it sets up good for them going against a team that want to run the ball.
I don't think it does either. I do think the one thing that can make it interesting is if Jake Spavital gets DJ Lagway right, and Baylor can turn this into a shootout. I think that's probably their only path to winning this thing, right?
Jay,
Let's
Jay,
turn it into a
Jay,
shootout.
Jay, do you know our defensive coordinator down at
I
Auburn
do.
University? And
I do.
you talking about a shootout?
I watched that Vandy game last year, man. I watched that Vandy game last year.
No. He was out of position. You know, they had him at head coach. That he's full time, Jay, at the defensive coordinator position, Jay. You understand what I'm saying, Jay? Oh my goodness, Jay, I can't believe you said a shootout. You got to be kidding me.
If I'm Baylor, that's what I'm trying to get to. I need a shootout. I don't think it's going to happen. I think Auburn's going to cruise pretty good in this game. Might take a half. Might take a half to get comfortable. But I think they'll cruise pretty good in this one. Before we go on to our other sneaky week 1 games, let's talk about Chanel Comfort Cooling and Heating. You see the logo down below me, phone numbers on it. If you're in central Alabama, especially around the Lake Martin area, great company for residential heating and cooling. They're going to take care of your HVAC, and it's so important. I think the heat index here was like 104 today or something. It was just crazy. So it's crazy hot right now, but look, if you need a repair or even a whole system replacement, Chanel Comfort Cooling and Heating, call them at the number below. They'll take care of you on there. Look them up on Facebook too. Great folks to deal with. All right, this one's interesting to me. This one's actually in week 0. NC State and Virginia. Virginia is a 5.5-point favorite in this game. Virginia was in the ACC championship game last year, wound up losing to Duke. NC State, I love their quarterback, CJ Bailey. I like Dave Doran, the coach. I think they've got some defensive credibility. Now, they lost some players to the transfer portal, but CJ Bailey can make up for a lot of that. I'm looking at that one, and I'm thinking NC State could go on the road and win this game in week 0.
I'm with you, Jay. I think, with Virginia, new quarterback and new receivers, and it's just a really new offense. You know what I mean? And going against a guy like CJ Bailey, man, I just think he gives the NC State the edge in that game. I think his playmaking ability to give them the edge, and I like NC State, Jay.
By far the best game of week 0, if you ask me. This one's interesting to me because you and I have talked about it. I think UNLV and Dan Mullen have a chance to get in the playoff this year. I think they have a chance to be the group of 6 representative. And they are a 6-point favorite. They're at home against Memphis. Now, we've talked about this too. Memphis, if you don't know, has more money than probably any other group of 16 because they're right there with FedEx, right? They've got FedEx money at Memphis. So if you're Memphis, it's like being at the Texas or the Ohio State of the group of 6, right? You've got more resources than your opponents. But UNLV has a lot of experience. UNLV has Dan Mullen, who we know has coached in big games. UNLV giving away 6 points in that game. I'm not really afraid of it. I like the Rebels.
I love them. Memphis has lost a lot, man. I think UNLV. I love UNLV in this game.
Memphis lost their coach, too. He's at Arkansas now.
Yeah, absolutely.
End of the year, he may wish he was back in Memphis. Look, if you're an Arkansas fan, I'm sorry. I'm just saying. I'm not saying, I'm just saying, Look, Dan Mullen, I think is gonna win 10 or 11 this year and have a great shot to get to the playoffs. And then I think he's gonna be back in the Power 4 somewhere. This one also very interesting game. Colorado at Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's a 6.5-point favorite. Colorado, we know, bad year last year. Dion seems to be healthy again, and we certainly hope so because he had a lot to deal with. And so at the Big 12 Media Days, Dion seemed a little bit like his old self, right? He's joking around. He's making his little comments. Colorado at Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech lost a ton. They lost Aaron Philo, who would have been their starting quarterback. They lost Buster Faulkner, their offensive coordinator. Brent Key's got a tough little rebuild ahead of him here. I'm not sure that Georgia Tech is just going to hammer Colorado.
Well, Jay, I say this, man. I think it's going to be a more of a grinded out game, due to the losses that Georgia Tech has lost, their quarterback and things of that nature. I think they're going to grind it out, Jay. And a grind out game, to me, favors the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets.
Oh, I would agree with you on that. And I'm curious to see what Dion does because you hate the thought of Dion getting fired. He had brought so much attention to Colorado when he first got there, but it's gone so badly the last year or so. And I think a lot of that's health problems. But he needs to put some wins on the board this year. No question about that. And then the last one is one that you have mentioned several times, and that is the Louisville Cardinals going to Oxford, Mississippi to face Ole Miss. Ole Miss is 6.5-point favorite in the game. Louisville is expected to be good. Now they got a lot of transfers. Louisville doesn't have like a ton of people coming back. It's very transfer heavy, but they got transfers that people like, good parts, good pieces. I don't know if they've got enough to go to Oxford unless Ole Miss is already thinking about LSU. If Ole Miss isn't focused on Louisville, there could be a problem.
You're absolutely right. If they're not focused, Jake, they can be in huge, huge trouble. And I'm talking about upset alert. With Louisville, their defense, Jay, they bringing back, a strong defense, probably one of the strongest defense in the ACC, Jay. They can run the football. You know what I mean? And so this will be a huge test for the Rebels, Jay. And they need to be, on their P's and Q's and on their game, because they sleepwalk out there, Jay. They can be in huge trouble.
And Jeff Brom, I don't care if he's at Louisville or Purdue before, Jeff Brom usually gets somebody he shouldn't.
Absolutely.
He's usually going to get somebody. And if you're an SEC fan, you're just hoping it's not the Rebels 2 weeks before they got to play LSU.
Right.
That'd be tough.
Absolutely.
Hey, just some sneaky games to think about early in the season. That College Football Show. I'm JJ. He's Eltoro. And if you are not subscribed to this channel, what are you doing with your like button? Go ahead and leave us a comment too. We'd love to have you a part of the program, and thank you so much for watching. Lot to talk about tonight on the show, and this is one. It's just kind of random. We're pretty much an SEC show primarily, but this one just. The more I think about it, the more I read about it, the more it bothers me. And so I want to talk about it a little bit. I'm going to make the case that number one, Bill Belichick should never have been hired in North Carolina. I'm going to make the case that number two, he should have been fired last January. And I'm going to make the case that number three, I might have fired him 2 weeks ago. So
wow.
I'll make my case, Eltoro. You tell me where I'm wrong. And I know it makes no sense to fire your head coach 3 weeks before the start of the season. But, here is what happened on the hiring of Bill Belichick. North Carolina, this is 2 years ago, remember. North Carolina 2 years ago, the athletic director, Bubba Cunningham, had a bead on a coach that we've gotten to know very well, John Sumrall at Florida. John Sumrall was at Tulane at the time. Bubba Cunningham, the athletic director, whose job it is to hire coaches, wanted to hire John Sumrall. John Sumrall had a quarterback at Tulane at the time who's now at Miami named Darian Mensah. So if Bubba Cunningham got what he wanted, there's a good chance that John Sumrall's at North Carolina right now and Darian Mensah's their quarterback. I'll just leave that there. So then what happened is John Pryor was the chairman of the board at North Carolina. He started running a secret parallel search at the same time, right? Athletic director is doing his search. Pryor, the board chair, is doing his own secret search. And anyway, political leaders, state leaders help facilitate communication between Pryor and Belichick. Apparently, Pryor thought he was going to pull off the biggest upset of all time. We're going to go hire Bill Belichick. And then there was Michael Lombardi, who was Belichick's kind of right-hand man, has been for years, served as the primary contact between the two to finalize the deals in December of 2024. One, Eltoro, it is never good when the chairman of your board is running a secret coaching search while your athletic director is trying to run the real coaching search.
Absolutely not.
We
Absolutely
talk
not,
about
Jay.
alignment. We talk about alignment all the time. Is this program aligned? Right.
Hmm.
Obviously, North Carolina had zero alignment, and that led to some blowback, some ramifications. So the nature of the hire kind of caused some. I was about to use the ish word, but I'm not. Some
Friction, Jay.
some stuff to start rolling downhill, right? In February of 2025, North Carolina System President Peter Hands issued a direct rebuke to the North Carolina Board of Trustees and formally stripped their unilateral authority over athletics contracts and hiring and to mitigate massive legal risks. So the board no longer at North Carolina has the authority to, sole authority to approve contracts. Former provost Chris Clemens went as far as suing the board of trustees over transparency violations regarding how the search was hidden from public oversight. And then Prayer, the chairman of the board, ultimately resigns under immense pressure. Trustee chairman officially resigned from the board in January of this year. So all of that to say, one, bad hire. Two, really badly handled. Three, I think in January when the chairman of the board that did this deal resigned, I think that the new athletic director should have just gone to Belichick and said, "Look, nobody's fault, man. We like you, but it ain't working." Because we've seen some craziness, man. You got the 25-year-old girlfriend slash business partner slash social media manager, whatever the hell she is. You've got Michael Lombardi, his GM and right-hand man at North Carolina. Lombardi is now on administrative leave. We don't know what for, right? But he's been placed on administrative leave. Don't you at some point, I mean, I know it's Belichick, but don't you at some point just have to go, yeah, we jacked this up bad, man. We got to get out of this.
Yeah, I mean, with the dysfunction and chaos off the field, and then on the field, like a production. I mean, I can see why you would feel that way, Jay. But let me ask you this, Jay. With a legendary coach, like Bill Belichick, do you think firing him this soon would be a premature decision?
I think it would be premature now because we're 3 weeks from the start of a season.
Okay.
I think I might have done it last January. With all the weird crap with the girlfriend, all the weird crap with Lombardi. There are stories about some of the things that Lombardi has said to people inside that building, and like how they treat people inside the athletic building. Right? Mm-hmm. This is not an NFL franchise. Belichick's a control freak. In the Patriots building, he was king and he ran it all, and everybody answered to him. But I will promise you, the softball coach does not believe that she answers to Bill Belichick. Mm-hmm. The women's basketball coach, the men's basketball coach. You're at North Carolina. You think the basketball staff thinks they answer to Bill Belichick? No. It's a different. It's just a different environment than the NFL, and it's been a terrible fit. Now they're going to have to suffer through it. I don't know what's going to happen at North Carolina this year. I don't think they're going to be very good, and it just proves, man. I mean, and Eltoro. We both know this. You know it from being an Auburn fan. I know it from being an Alabama fan. When you badly screw up a coaching search, man, it sets you back a long time.
Oh, yeah, Jay. Yes,
and you
does.
Just suffer. You just suffer. And it's awful.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, I say all that, Belichick will win 10 games this year, get in the playoffs, make a run to the finals or something. I don't know.
One thing I do like about him, though, I like the defense. I like the defense. I think the defense kept them in a lot of games, and it seemed like they it helped them win games too. And it seems like the kids. Do you think the kids the team is playing for them hard?
I did at times last year.
Okay, yeah,
yeah. Now sometimes it's hard to tell the difference.
Yeah,
when you're watching a team, whether they're not playing hard or whether they're just confused, because sometimes when you're confused, and look, Belichick's scheme is not simple, it's tough, right? So sometimes you look at a player and it looks like they're loafing or it looks like they're not playing hard, and really all it is they just don't know what they're doing up here. And when they don't know what they're doing up here, it can look that way. But look, I will tell you this: I watched them a few times just to
Mhm.
try to get an idea of what in the world's going on in North Carolina, because North Carolina is a heavy NIL program. They've got resources. You wouldn't
Mhm.
have been able to hire Bill Belichick if you didn't have resources.
Mhm.
So I feel like North Carolina should be able to field a more competitive program, and we'll see if they do it this year. I don't think so, and I think he's probably just going to wind up stepping down to avoid the embarrassment of being let go.
Wouldn't be
Probably
surprised.
that would be my guess. He's made plenty of money, and the NFL's not coming back, so it is what it is. Little Bill Belichick drama there. JJ and El Toro back on that college football show. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment, have some fun with us, and thank you for hanging out as we talk a little football. El Toro, the Associated Press Top 25 is out. Was released on Monday. Um, let's go through it and then we'll discuss a few things about it. Okay. Number one, they had the Ohio State Buckeyes. Number two, the Oregon Ducks. Number three, Georgia. Number four, Notre Dame. And number five, Texas rounds out the top five. Indiana at number six. Miami at seven. Texas A&M at eight. Ole Miss at nine. Oklahoma at 10. LSU at 11. They have Texas Tech at 12. Alabama at 13. BYU at 14. They have USC at 15. Michigan at 16. Washington at 17, Penn State at 18, SMU 19. You have Tennessee at 20, Utah at 21, Iowa 22, Houston 23, Louisville 24, and Missouri 25. That is the Associated Press preseason top 25. I'll start with this, El Toro. I said the other day, and I mean it. They don't mean anything in terms of football, but they are fun to look at. What's your thoughts when you hear it right off jump?
Well, I'm looking for Clemson. Where's Clemson?
I can tell you where Clemson is. They were 7-6 last year and lost 9 players in the draft.
So, Jay, you don't think it's a surprise that they're out of the top 25?
No. Listen, on Sports Blitz, one of the other shows I do, we had this talk last week or a couple of weeks ago when the coaches poll came out, because they had them, I think, 23rd or something. There is nothing I've seen or read about Clemson in 2026 that makes me think they're one of the 25 best teams. You had a team that went 7-6 last year. You had 9 players off that team drafted, I think 5 of them in the first 3 rounds. So you lost your best offensive lineman, your best defensive lineman, you lost your quarterback, you lost defensive players. I mean, receivers. And I don't know any of the guys you have coming back off a 7-6 team. So no, I wouldn't have put him in my top 25 either.
Well, I was shocked to see him out. Also, I think Louisville. I think they got them too I guess low.
A little low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they.
It's ACC football, man. I mean, the thing is, like, is Louisville going to be better than SMU?
You don't think so, Jay?
I don't know. I can make an argument for SMU because they got Kevin Jennings, right? I can make that argument.
Right. Yeah.
But I could make an argument for putting Louisville above Houston, although I love Willie Fritz, and he's got a lot coming back, so they could be a surprise.
I tell you what,
Missouri.
I tell you the most overrated team, I think.
Tell me.
They're in the 25, USC.
Really?
Yeah.
I like USC this year, man.
I just don't believe in Lincoln Riley and Garrett Patterson.
Okay. I really like that team this year, and I'm going to be so disappointed if they just do what they've been doing. All right, so here's an interesting tidbit on here. Georgia's ranked 3rd, Texas is 5th. No SEC team got a first place vote. No SEC team got a first place vote. So with Georgia,
Wow.
Texas, A&M, Ole Miss, and Oklahoma all in the top 10,
Now, Jay,
LSU, Alabama, all in the top 13, none of them got a first place vote.
wow. Now, Jay, you mentioned, it was one of your bold predictions that
Yeah.
Ohio State wouldn't even make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think it's a great chance Ohio State loses 3 games. I wouldn't have them
Right.
at number 1.
One, I know, right? That's
No. 7 starters gone off that defense. And I know they just reload, and I know they've got talent. But 1, I mean, Oregon, I could see it 1. Georgia, I could see it 1. I would listen to an argument for Notre Dame at 1, and I would listen to an argument for Texas at 1. I would listen to an argument for Indiana at 1. They're the defending champs. But
with
Ohio
Georgia,
State to me,
with Georgia's schedule and what they have returning, you don't think they deserve the number 1 spot?
I had them at number 1 in my
Yeah.
in my mind. Yeah. Georgia to me is number 1 and Oregon's number 2.
Yeah.
I think right now at the end of the year, I kind of think Georgia's going to wind up playing Oregon for the national title. It'll be Dan Lanning against Kirby Smart, right? So
that means no Texas, Jay.
that means no Texas in the title game, man. That would be bad for Sark.
Absolutely.
But we haven't seen him yet. I will tell you one. This is an interesting one. Those top 7, 19 of the last 22 years, the national champion has come from the top 7 of the first AP preseason poll.
Oh.
19 out of 22 years.
Wow.
So that means there's an 86% chance that the national champion is going to be Ohio State, Oregon, Georgia, Notre Dame, Texas, Indiana, or Miami. Interesting little stat there.
Yeah, that's nice trivia right there, Jay.
There's also almost every year, there's a top 10 team, sometimes more than one, that finished the season unranked.
Which one you think that'll be?
I'm looking at you, Texas A&M. I'm looking at you, A&M.
Really, Jay? Oh, you're not sold on the Aggies, huh?
I'm not sold on the Aggies. You know I don't like in-house coordinator hires. So they hired 2 in-house coordinators, one for each side of the ball. You got an offensive coordinator that's never called plays before.
What about
You got
the
a
players,
quarterback.
Jay?
You got a quarterback who has not proven he can be consistent. You lost 4 starters on the offensive line, 3 out of the front 7 on the defensive line. There's a lot of losses there, and the schedule's not what it was last year. Last year, he had a pretty breezy schedule. Texas was the only team you played with a winning conference record, and you lost to them. So I think we could see a situation where A&M winds up like 7-5.
7 with that talent, Jay?
I mean, are all those new offensive linemen going to work out? I don't know. Is Marcel Reed going to take the next step? I don't know. Are all those new defensive linemen, are they going to be as good as last year? I don't know. I love Satania at wide receiver. Think he's great. And I love Marcel Reed if Colin Klein was back. Because I think Klein would make sure he would take the next step. I don't know if Holman Wiggins and the new quarterback coach are going to be able to do that.
Make him take the next step. Now, that is something to think about.
And, there's other ones. I mean, I think USC could jump up there. And here's a big question, because in this state, everybody, what did you think of Alabama at 13?
Jay, I think if the physicality there, I think they need to be lower, meaning like in the top 10.
Yeah.
But I think if not, Jay, I think they got them right where they belong, out of the top 10.
I actually think 13's about right. Every time I look at it, I have them anywhere from 11 to 15. It was funny because there was a conversation on Twitter yesterday, and somebody, I don't remember who the sports writer was, said when the AP poll comes out at noon Eastern today, where's Alabama going to be? I just immediately went 13 because it just made sense to me that there's just too many questions about Alabama. And this, I'm a fan of Kalen DeBoer. I like Kalen DeBoer. But there's some stuff from last year that he's got to address. I think he's made moves to address them, and we're going to see if it works out. But if they have improved the offensive line, if they've put together or can put together a running game that is credible, right? It doesn't have to be. You don't have to run for 180 a game. Run for 135, 140. If they can do that, then they're solidly in the top 10. But there's just too many questions for me, man. I think 13 is plenty fair. Alabama fans should not be upset with 13. I would have been upset at 20, but not 13. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, Jay. Now let me ask you this, Jay. Do you think
Yeah.
Texas A&M is better than them?
I don't know yet because
You
I don't
don't?
know if Alabama has a running game.
Okay.
I have some of the same questions, right? Like A&M, I know that they're going to be more run heavy than Alabama because that's the offense they run, right?
Right.
It's just different offenses. But Alabama's coaching staff, wide receivers and quarterback are probably going to be a little bit better in terms of a passing game. And I don't know now. That all changes if Marcel Reed takes a couple of steps forward. Yeah. That also changes in the other direction if Keelan Russell is a star, right?
That's true.
So it can change in any number of ways. They're both replacing similar pieces, but Alabama didn't change any coordinators. So I kind of know what I'm getting. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, I think A&M, because of the schedule, their schedule's harder than Alabama's. Remember, they got to go to Alabama this year. Our schedule's a little more difficult. I don't know that I trust Marcel Reed yet, and I don't know how Holman Wiggins is going to be as a play caller. Because of those reasons, I think A&M is a candidate to regress. But listen, Ole Miss has a first-time head coach, man. They could fall off the map. What if Pete Golding's not the man? What if he's just not?
I tell you this, Jay. The first game of the season is going to tell a lot when they play Louisville.
Yeah, that Louisville game is going to tell you a lot. The Louisville game will tell you whether or not they're going to be good. The LSU game is going to tell you whether or not they're going to be a contender.
I like it, Jay.
Oklahoma, interesting too. They got a lot coming back, right? I mean, you got Mateer coming back, staff's in place. You know, Brent Venables is going to have a good defense because, I mean, he could come over to my house and coach my kids and, have a good defense. So Oklahoma to me is like, man, if John Mateer is a more consistent, level-headed quarterback, maybe that's a top 10, top 5 team. If John Mateer is throwing interceptions and not taking care of the ball, maybe they're a, 15, 18, 20, I don't think Oklahoma will be bad. I just don't know if they're going to be really good. So
their success is definitely riding on John Mateer.
Yeah, he's got to play like an NFL draft pick.
Mm-hmm.
Use this a little more than the muscles
right.
and the legs, right? Run, as we said the other night, run the damn offense, man.
There you go.
Run the offense. How hard can it be?
Right, Jay.
All right, that's your AP top 25. I will say this. I'm with you 100%. I know you had him there the other night. I do too. Georgia's my number one until somebody proves me wrong.
Absolutely. The mine's too, Jay. Especially with the schedule they have, Jay.
Yeah. They should not be overly beat up at the end of the year with that schedule. You know what I mean?
Hey, they should mirror Indiana.
Yeah, exactly. There's a time coming, man, when Cignetti's just gonna get bent over and take his whooping, and I'm gonna enjoy it.
Oh man!
And it probably won't be from my team, but Georgia could do it.
Hey, I'm thinking you would like that one, Jay.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. Sure.
Yeah.
You got to remind me about that game every damn show. So here we are. All right, Eltoro, let's get ready to close this show out. Listen, the top 25, the AP top 25 is out. I'm curious about it. I want to see how things change as we get camp updates. I mean, we went over those injuries for Tennessee. Are they going to stay at number 20 with all of those players getting hurt? Do you put them there just because, you know, overall talent? I don't know. I would keep an eye on Washington too. Think that's interesting. Keep an eye on these injuries that we talked about with fall camp, man, because it hurts Eltoro so bad with to have players that you're depending on getting not just lost, but lost for the season.
Oh yeah, change the whole game plan, Trey.
Yeah. And then you gotta when nobody has depth like they used to. So now you're gonna rely on a young guy, inexperienced guy, maybe a transfer from a smaller school, something like that. It's just not the same. Been a great show, man. Hey, thank you so much for listening and watching tonight. We appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, leave us a comment. Thank you to Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC, our anchor sponsor, and thank you to the great Eltoro Freeman. Eltoro, have a great night, my friend.
Thank you, brother.